Hello and welcome back to I Am Geek, and this is HalloGEEK. We'll continue that today, and this is episode 121. I'm Ryan. I'm joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin. And tonight we've got some special guests with us. They're from YouTube. Their channel is called Always Believe. Welcome Brian and Ashleigh, or Ashleigh and Bryan, whichever way you want to do it.
Ashleigh and Bryan.
Well, of course.
Yikes.
That's how all the great duos do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my place.
But welcome to I Am Geek. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is technically your guys' second time on a podcast.
Yes.
Unless we get ours out before the other people. So
Exactly.
I think you'll be the first.
It's all in
But like I said, you guys have a YouTube channel, and that's where I found you guys. A while back, you were doing some Galaxy's Edge videos, and it caught my eye, and I'm like, gosh, these guys love Star Wars. We love Star Wars. Let's have them on the show. And so maybe just give the listeners sort of a background of who you guys are and what you guys do so they can follow along.
You want to go first? I mean,
You
you're
go.
the A.
You
Okay.
You go.
Just following the alphabet. I'm Brian. We both together, Ashley and I, started YouTube in the beginning of this year. And for a while, myself personally, I'd been going to conventions and been uber geek, cosplaying, going to Comic-Con, following my passions as a fan. And that led into my career eventually of doing art and getting to now currently work and designing movie posters and just doing the craziest, most amazing things from just being a geek and following your passions and just not letting anyone tell you differently. And that eventually, because of Star Wars, actually, that led me to Ashleigh. And we ran into each other at our good friend's bar in Hollywood called Scum and Villainy Cantina. And we met on May the 4th, which we have an episode about it if you want to see all about it.
Yeah, watch out.
And we basically met then and didn't talk really for a little while. We hung out at Comic-Con, and kind of later that year, we ended up going on our first date together. But there's a lot of bumpy roads in between there that actually like to remind me about.
No, but we both were in the kind of the cosplay community. And that's how, when we started dating, we're like, well, what are we going to do? You want to go to a convention? Like, that's what we did. And from there, we were like, well, we're always going to events. There's constantly events going on in LA around the geek community. So we're like, why don't we just vlog it? You know, we're always having fun, and people come up to us and go, wow, I love you guys as a couple. You guys are so fun and passionate. And we're like, well, let's just film ourselves. So that's what we started doing this year.
Well, Ashley was already kind of doing a lot of Insta stories on her own. I hadn't really been doing Instagram, and I had been involved with some other friends already. I have a really popular YouTube channel called Bat in the Sun Productions. And they do.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
My good friend Aaron is the director and producer. Him and his father, they do the channel, and it's basically Superpower Beatdown is their big show where they battle different characters that don't exist in the same universe and see what they would do. And they literally just put out an episode this week of Killmonger versus Batman from Flash. So I
love that show.
I was kind of aware of the YouTube scene a bit, and then just kind of realized eventually with Ashley, like, why are we not doing this? Like, we already know people who are doing this, and we're entertaining. We just kind of need to do it, which is hard for most people. You just have to take action and do it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was very similar when you guys started your podcast. It was just like, we just got to do it. Like, there's no other way around it.
Yeah. Yeah, we just we were talking, and it was like, we talk about stuff, like we'll call each other and talk about stuff all the time. We should record that and then put it out there, because why not? And I'm a stay-at-home dad right now, so I need to talk to adults, you know.
Well, Ashley can empathize with you because she talks to children all day long with her work.
Yeah, that's my job.
Yeah.
That's a good job to have. Well, cool. That's cool. So how, let's go all the way back. How did you guys, where did your love for Star Wars, where did it begin? As a child, how did it start?
Should I go?
You go first. Okay. Yours is more epic.
Mine's more epic. All right. I'll try to briefly summarize it this time, but
you can write a whole book about it.
There's been a lot of there are actually a lot of crazy moments of Star Wars and how it's changed my life, and that's why being able to look back now as an adult, technically. I'm 34 now, so I can definitely am an adult, I guess. But just being passionate about Star Wars my whole life has led to the most amazing things. And it started for me when I was, I think, 10 at Christmas. My dad had bought me the VHS tapes before the special edition had come out. Mm-hmm. And just as a sort of throwaway gift, he bought me the tapes. And I remember watching them on my own downstairs after we opened presents, and just remembering this image since I was 4 of seeing Star Wars on TV, but not knowing what it was. Just the scene of Luke and Leia swinging across the chasm as they're avoiding the blaster fire from the stormtroopers. And I kind of remember that image, but didn't know what it was. So when I was watching A New Hope, I was like, that's that thing that was in my head all my life. It's not and then just falling in love with the movie, because it's obviously like the best movie ever. And just getting so passionate after that fact, and just trying to absorb as much Star Wars as I could that I could find anywhere. And then finally realizing the special edition was going to be coming out, so they were going to be in theaters again. And just throughout middle school, I had one other buddy who I was really into Star Wars with, and we collected all the toys that were coming out. And it was such a great time to become a Star Wars fan again, because so much of it was being reborn to the public. And then, like a lot of people, I got into high school. I was playing music. I was skateboarding, and didn't think Star Wars was cool enough to maybe talk about as much in high school, and kind of suppressed it for a while. And then by college, I was working. I had some money. And I remember as a kid always seeing Luke's Empire lightsaber in the Star Wars Insider magazine that you could flip to the back, and they had like products that you could buy, the very limited amount of things they had at the time. Yeah. Them showing like a Luke lightsaber for like $300, and I was like, there's no way I can ever buy that, but I'm so bad. And then as an adult, I was like, I have money now, I can go buy that thing. And it was from there basically that buying props, buying that lightsaber kind of got me into cosplaying and wanting to just kind of get more things that, see, my collecting that I do is more of like props and more cosplay related than toys as much anymore, because I like feeling like I can reach inside the movie and pull out something from the film, hold it in my hand. It's like a tangible piece of that movie, and it feels so much more real and visceral to me that way. Yeah, and cosplayed for a while. I was in the 501st for a number of years cool. Back east, and the Rebel Legion, and then I eventually got to. It's a long story. I'm getting there.
Good. We got an hour.
I eventually got to do something amazing. Actually, my main costume I had for Star Wars was Revenge of the Sith Anakin Skywalker from Episode 3.
Cool.
And that was sort of the first time I found the community online and sort of got onto message boards and actually got really excited. Actually, 2005 for Revenge of the Sith was the first time I really was getting built up and excited for a movie like we all do now with social media and YouTube and the internet. I had never gotten hyped for a movie like that before. And I remember just spending those months leading up, just seeing all the cool details, and in the process, meeting a community of guys who were putting together the Anakin costume from the little bits of photos that were leaking on the internet. And I got really into it. And it just blossomed since that point. And I did Anakin for a number of years at events. And then the coolest thing I got to do, and I kind of stopped cosplaying for a little bit after that as Star Wars, because it was like the ultimate thing, was I got to come out to California in 2007 to be in the Tournament of Roses parade as Anakin for Lucasfilm.
Oh, wow.
The 501st Legion basically got an invite from Lucasfilm and George Lucas to be a part of the 30th anniversary celebration of Star Wars. And he flew like 30 different countries worth of stormtroopers out to the event. There was like 200 guys as stormtroopers literally marching down the street. And I got selected to be Anakin out of like all my buddies. And it was a very competitive thing amongst us when it happened. We were, I didn't get it. I was like, I got it. But it was super cool. It was my first trip to Los Angeles, and I fell in love with California after that. And I really wanted to come out. And then literally, I think it was that same year was my college graduation. I was graduating from doing graphic design at school. And I asked my graphic design teacher, I was like, can I do for my final project, not the final project, and can I design my own just Star Wars poster? I digitally painted a Star Wars poster because I was going to Star Wars Celebration that they did in Los Angeles in 2007, I believe it was. And I actually ended up missing my college graduation to go to Celebration because I was like, I don't care about any of these people. I don't see them heat. I want to go to a Star Wars convention. So that was some of the bigger fun things I'd done with Star Wars, and I thought that was kind of it for a while. But we'll leave it there for now, and I'll let Ashleigh talk.
It's so epic. It's not really that cool. Dang. Okay. Star Wars. So I actually was introduced to Star Wars by my 3rd grade teacher. I was like a total little book nerd. I stayed after class all the time because I really just didn't want to go home. It wasn't a very safe environment for me. But my teacher knew that, so he kept me after class, and he actually put on A New Hope for me when I'd sit in class and do my homework. And he would always tell me I was a lot like Leia. Like he would like take my hair and like put them in buns. I'd be like, well, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know who this chick is you keep talking about. So he finally put the movie on for me, and he's like, this is the lady I'm telling you about. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but we only had so much time, so he'd skip a lot of scenes, so I was so confused. I was like, yeah, she's cool, she's sassy, she's very strong-willed. That I could see that. And then I kind of went home and didn't have anything Star Wars to reference. My mom was a total geek, but she didn't like Star Wars for some reason, so I couldn't pull anything out of her to be like, hey, I got to watch this cool movie. What is this? Help me explain. She's like, no, here's Back to the Future. Here's other stuff. Don't worry about Star Wars. I can't figure out what happened. And then I kind of forgot about it for a while until I would ride Star Tours at Disneyland. I really love that ride. And then it wasn't until they started actually showing it on TV again on cable where I was like, oh, this was like the same thing you had. I was like, this is the movie that my teacher was showing me, and I really enjoyed it, but I was so busy with school, and I was putting myself through college. I was working like 2 full-time jobs almost. I didn't have time for Star Wars, which really sucked. I took myself there, and then I really got into it once I was actually done with grad school, where I was like, I have time. I'm done like hustling. I want to get back into like this geek lifestyle that I really enjoy. And that's when I started doing cosplaying, and that's how I met you. And then it's just all took off from there, and you reignited my passion for Star Wars. Like I've kind of like felt it this whole time, but I'm like, okay, now I can dive into it. Yeah. Now I feel like I'm at a time in my life where I have time for that.
You kind of reignited mine as well. I kind of was overly saturated with it for a period and got into superheroes a lot more, and Batman and Superman. I was excited for the DC universe coming around, and then really got into Marvel, obviously, because it did a little better than DC, unfortunately.
Yeah, but a little bit.
Yeah, it was a good time these last few years because the whole fandom's been refueled in good ways and bad ways. Yeah. But yeah, that pushed me to go, oh, there's a Star Wars bar opening. I have to go there. I want to make a Star Wars cosplay. I want to get into the Star Wars thing. And then I made it so I could get to this bar when it was just doing kind of its soft openings, and it was a pop-up. And that's how I met you. And I was like, oh, there's a Han Solo here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty epic story, too. Don't sell yourself short there. I mean, for a teacher to basically see that in you and just say, forget this, book stuff. You're going to watch Star Wars. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Took like 20 years.
So if your mom was in Back to the Future when you watched Star Wars, did you say, wait a second, I thought Darth Vader was Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future?
I really did. That's how I know that reference.
Yeah, that's actually Ashley's favorite movie is Back to the Future.
That's a good one.
We were actually arguing about it the other day. No, it was yesterday.
We were probably talking.
We were getting ready, and then we were just steadily joking with each other. Which one has the better storyline? I just did.
Yeah, she's good at pushing buttons. She works with kids, and she does behavioral work with children, so she really knows how to just mess with me sometimes and just see my reactions. And I get so into it. We're always playing with each other, and joking around that sometimes I can't tell when she's just kind of the buttons a little bit.
Did you like throw out box office numbers and be like, let's see who has the better storyline here?
Oh, good thing
Ooh.
they're in this. That's gay. I'll be your Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. What are your guys' favorite movies, by the way?
I'm a big Star Wars guy, and the first Star Wars movie I remember seeing in the theaters was Return of the Jedi. So it's always been my favorite because I saw it as a kid, saw it there on the big screen. So I love Return of the Jedi. I know some people give it a hard time, but it's my favorite. I love it.
That was my favorite as a kid too.
Yeah,
it was the first one I really got into. It was the most fun as a kid.
Yeah, especially the whole Jabba's palace. I thought that was just so cool and
get right into the action of something weird going on.
Yeah, love it. So that's that's probably always going to be my top movie, Return of the Jedi. Yeah. But I also love one of my other favorite movies is Ghostbusters. Love Ghostbusters.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's my top ones, I guess.
They're okay.
Yeah, those are good.
It's fine.
We just did an episode recently where we talked about our top 5 movies.
Yeah.
So this is fresh on our minds, but
yeah,
I'm the weird one. My favorite movie is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
I can quote it from the end to end especially if I'm watching it. I can right before they say it, But one of mine was also Back to the Future. It was on my list as well. But that's one top favorite.
Was there a reason why those became your favorite movies? Was there a moment in your life that
No. I mean, it was just I like I like goofy. I'm more into goofy movies. I mean, I love Star Wars and I love Lord of the Rings and Ghostbusters and all these things like this. But I guess I always gravitate towards the goofy movies. Another one of my favorites that's near the top is That Thing You Do, which is a lot about being in a band, and that was as I said in another episode. I'm trying not to repeat myself too much, but that was a great time in my life, and it just reminds me so much of that. And then it's another goofy movie, and Tom Hanks is so great in that movie. But Well,
I think Back to the Future, when he plays Johnny the Good, and then That Thing You Do, two of the movies that really made me want to play in a band. I had a band for a while in high school too. That was my original focus until I switched back to art, thankfully.
Right.
And I can't really pick one necessarily. There's so many I like. It's hard.
Do it.
My favorite Star Wars movie is actually Spaceballs.
I knew Spaceballs more than I knew Star Wars for a little bit.
I like Star Wars a lot, but I'm kind of like catering a little bit. I like some of the goofy movies a little bit out there, and I love Mel Brooks movies. Spaceballs is always fun, but like the one movie that really got me into animation and everything was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan has a great Funko Pop. There it is.
Yeah, before she started, she was like, "Should I wear my Jeff Goldblum shirt?" I was like, "Yes."
Yes.
Of course.
You can never go wrong with Jeff Goldblum.
Not this look. Look at that.
Oh, look at that's a handsome man right there. And then I love superheroes. Like I'm a huge superhero comic book fan and everything, and I see all of them. I like all of them. But yeah, when we were doing that list, I had to pick like one specifically. So I actually went with Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Because it really just kind of sums up Batman. Mark Hamill is the Joker. Like he's Luke Skywalker to you. A lot of times he's just Joker. I can pick out his voice in anything both. He does stuff in.
Did you watch The Dark Crystal recently with him?
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Mark.
Yeah, you can really. He slips into the Joker voice a little bit whenever he's doing stuff, and you can always kind of come out. Fun little thing I got to do was we were working on Best Fiends short. This little app game, and that we're working on, and we had to do some voiceover dialogue, some scratch dialogue, because we didn't have their voices yet, and he does a voice on one of those. So I actually got to go into the booth and do like his voice before they put his voice in there. And that was fun.
So did he listen? He listened to your voice, right?
He listened to mine. Yeah, he actually listened to mine, like, because they played it back for him.
What did it sound like?
Oh, what did mine sound like?
From the mic a little bit.
You have the mic.
It gets really loud when he does it.
Oh gosh, I always got it first.
I
gotta get into character. Get his essence. Hello, Gotham City. Mr. J. Harley.
There you go.
Really good.
Yeah.
Nice going,
It was a little toned down from that, trying to do his other thing, because he for the Best Fiends he went higher with it. I was like, okay, here we go.
That was really good.
Very good.
He's a man of 1,000 voices.
Yeah, does them all.
Half of them are the same as the other half, but it's 1,000.
Does all of Mark Hamill's voices. Oh man. So I'm totally an 80s movie guy, and I love all the 80s movies. So all this like resurgence of movies taking place in the 80s now, I'm just like loving it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or shows.
Yeah.
It's fun that all of us can just be fully out there and be passionate about what we love, and just we don't have to make, what's the word I would use? We have to apologize for any of our passions.
Yeah.
We can embrace it so much. That was like a thing that we kind of first realized when we left Galaxy's Edge the first time after we filmed. It was like, it was almost too much. There was like too much amazing stuff given to us that most people probably would not appreciate how amazing the simple thing we had was.
Yeah.
And I was nerding out over the smallest things, like they were selling, and they still sell it, they were selling the MRE kit from Empire Strikes Back, what is eating on Dagobah, that Yoda kind of tastes. Why do you get so big eating food of this kind? Like, I was like, this is so cool. What? And you could tell, even listening to interviews from the people who made the park, like, they were true fans too, trying to make really, really cool things for fans. And that's why we started making those vlogs, is we wanted to encourage and tell people, like, this park is amazing. It's not perfect yet. They're still working on it. They're still developing it. But the people who are really behind it, the true people who built this place, really care and really want to make something magical for you guys to play Star Wars. And there's obviously a lot of things going on. They're trying to balance like how much it was expensive to build that place. They can't give us everything all at once, because then they're gonna just go broke basically. But we love that place.
Oh, I got to go to the one in Walt Disney World a few weeks ago.
Awesome.
And I think I rode the Millennium Falcon like 8 times.
Oh.
And like I got one of our somebody we know like asked me if I was going to do the lightsaber thing, the Savis, and we talked about it on here before. And I was like, no, I just don't have $200 to do that. And he texted me and said, you know what? I want the 13-year-old Ryan to go and build his own lightsaber, and he sent me $200.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
So I got to go, and we were staying on property because we're Disney Vacation Club members.
Yeah.
We did that like a long time ago. We're like, we're gonna have fun. We're just gonna do this, and then our kids are gonna go to Disney and all that. So we had extra magic hour. So I went at 6 a.m. to Galaxy's Edge. The sun had not come up yet. I walked in. They had a holding pen. The First Order troopers came out and walked us all the way back to Batu, and it was just all the way onto the ride. And then I went to Savi's later that morning, and there was only like a couple people there. So like the whole room was like, it was like my personal lightsaber experience. And I told the guys, and our listeners, there was a tear shed. There was a tear rolled down my cheek because I was.
Did you capture it in your lightsaber as you're
Yeah.
building it?
So this is my lightsaber. That I
It went
bought.
across the kyber crystal.
You're looking at the lightsaber right now. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Which version is this that you did?
It's the Peace and Justice. Yeah, I wanted. Yeah, right. Peace and Justice. That's basically the Jedi one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go like old school, and I got the green kyber crystal in it, but I ended up buying all the crystals before I left. Then I made, when I got home, like, this is how much of a geek I am. Star Wars. I made my own like Savi's display.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so the crystals go in there. I haven't put them in yet, and there's lights, and it lights up the crystals. But yeah, so it was just like I felt like a kid again walking through Batu. Like I felt, and like I would talk to the people that work there, and like I went in docking bay, whatever it is, docking bay. Yeah, the quick service.
Yeah.
And she was like the person at the register. I was like, so you got any problems with first order coming in here? And she went into the whole thing. She played right along, and she's like, no, the Cookie doesn't like, that's our chef, doesn't like them to come in here, so we keep to ourselves. They stay out, and like went through the whole spiel. I mean, it's just so cool. I got to play Star Wars for like a couple of days, and
with a name like Cookie, you have to be a chef. When you get older.
That's right.
But the lady character, I always forget her name. What was it?
Oh, Vi Marati.
Yeah. She like saw me with my lightsaber and ran up and said, "Find me later," and because she was running from the First Order, and I saw her later, and she goes, "You're back," and she like went into this whole thing, and she's like, what can we do? I see that you're, have a lightsaber, and are you part of the Resistance? And I was like, yeah, and she went in this whole made this whole plan of how we're gonna defeat the First Order. It's so cool, and it's just. It's like, when I was a kid growing up, it was not cool to like Star Wars or like these geeky things. And now to see places like Disney and stuff embracing that, and I know they want our money, but embracing it and giving us a place to, take it. Yeah.
Take it all.
Yeah. A place to play and have fun. It's just, it's amazing.
No, that's kind of like been our motivation for creating the channel. Always Believe was realizing we have so much fun together, and it was at first again it was a little hard for us to be like, are people gonna really care about watching us? Like learning about how to make a vlog and how those come about. They say, like, just to be honest, when you first start, nobody really cares about you. You really got to kind of convince them why they need to watch you and why they want to watch you. And we've watched a lot of vlogs from a lot of different channels. And a lot of vlogs are great. They're very informative. They tell you something. A lot of times when you're going on YouTube, you're looking for some piece of information.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good way to bring audiences into your channel. And we've done that with 2 or 3 videos.
Lightsaber reviews.
We've done 2 lightsaber review videos now. That first one has about 116,000 views on it since for about 3 months now.
Yeah.
And we just did a second follow-up, which was a dark side version of that. And that's got about 26,000 views right now. And most of our vlogs at this point, we have about just under 4,000, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers since starting the beginning of the year. And most of our videos get a couple thousand views on them, but they're not hitting those numbers. And it's because people love Star Wars. They want to know about the park. They wanted to know about the lightsabers. And a big part of that we realized is people are so afraid of making the wrong choices and decisions when they go to Batu. It's like you said, it's really expensive to go. We went opening weekend, and the only way we could guarantee that we got in the first day, it was like $600 for a hotel room at Disneyland Hotel. And,
stressful getting it too.
Yeah, it was not cheap. And I get it. Like a lot of people are stretched on budgets. We are too. You can't just go there all the time. We're very lucky. We live in Los Angeles, and we can go. We have a season pass, and we can go. We just literally went yesterday. Sorry. We wanted to start helping out people and showing them what it's like to be at the park, how much fun you can really have. Because Ashleigh realizes this through her work too, and just the people that we know. So many people are just so passive about getting into the experience, and they're just expecting it to come to them, and it's just going to happen.
Entertain me.
Yeah, entertain me.
Yeah. Here's my money. Now make me happy.
Yeah. And we realized that with each other, we have so much fun just with each other. Like our first trip to Disney, which is actually what we celebrated yesterday, was our 2-year anniversary of our first time going to Disney together. And that's where my love for Disney came again, was because of Ashleigh. And we stood in line for Guardians of the Galaxy, I remember, for 2 hours, and I wasn't bored at all. And I just wanted to keep hanging out with her. And I just realized how much fun it was to play with Ashleigh and just be silly. And she just encourages it and knows how to bring that out of me and other people around us, that we wanted to create our channel to be all about that. Just show people how to have fun, how to be silly, how to let go, how to make up silly songs on the spot.
Once it gets stuck in your head constantly.
Ashleigh said one of our latest videos, everybody stares and nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're really doing. They may be curious for a second, like, is that dangerous going on over there? Is it okay? It's cool. It's safe. What are those people doing?
But it goes back to like the Star Wars fandom, where, you know, like you guys say, like, it wasn't cool to like this stuff. And so now we have a whole Star Wars land, and some people still go to the park thinking it's not cool to get super into it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to encourage people, no, wear a cool outfit, interact with the people working here, you know, pretend like you're a part of the land, like do it. It's cool. You're fine.
Yeah. It's like the whole point of it.
Yeah. So that's what we try and do every day.
And there's so many people who you'll still see there, and they're just kind of standing there looking around waiting for something to do, something to happen. And unfortunately, that's a little bit of like slightly Disney's fault currently, because like some of the other interactive entertainment elements, I think they kind of cut at the last minute to save some money, and I hope they're back in. But again, we just want to show people, just play. Like every detail and every point of where you can look around in the park is cool. There's some cool thing there. And our videos are so long, they end up being like 30-40 minute vlogs of us hanging out in the park, and we're like, oh my gosh, these need to be way shorter. But it's so fun, we just can't cut it down.
Have you all had any issues with the costumes you're wearing? Like, have they said anything to you?
Just with Kylo Ren, he just doesn't like it.
Such a jerk. Haven't had any problems. Our friend had a problem with his Han Solo gun holster. Wow. So they don't want you to have the holster there. Even if you don't have your blaster, they just don't want that. But everything else we've been fine with.
Yeah, I think their biggest thing has just been, they put out a guide on the Disney site at one point. It was really just anything that conceals your body too much, where they can't really identify you, is the issue. And even we talked to somebody who was working there who kind of let us in, that they were saying, I think originally they were planning on people being able to wear like the robes that you can buy, the Jedi robes, but then it got a little questionable, maybe from the Anaheim police. They were like, we're not so sure about this, because at what point can you tell that person that they're allowed to put that robe on? Because like technically you can just walk in from Disneyland at any point in that situation. They could have put something in their robe, or who knows. And it's a little iffy. Bring a weapon in. And Bob Iger just put out a new book, and he kind of mentions in the beginning of the book that there was almost the situation that happened in Florida with the shooting at the Pulse nightclub was almost supposed to happen at Disney Florida. And because of their security that night, it got diverted, and that guy ended up going, unfortunately, to the other place. But otherwise the costume stuff's been fine. And
I mean, it's a shame too, because they sell all those main pieces. And the guy that we talked to definitely talked about that they had all that planned for everyone to wear, and then by the time it was like right before the park opened, Anaheim police was like, nope, people can't wear this, they can't wear this, they can't wear this. So they still had all this merchandise to sell, but you can't wear it.
What do you want to buy, Ashleigh, really bad?
Oh, the pilot suit? Yes.
Oh, cool.
Well, I fit in the kids' pilot suit.
Perfectly.
So it looked really cool.
She tried one on in the Star Traders one day, and it's the most unfortunate thing because they sell them in the park, literally at a booth right in front of the actual X-Wing. So if you could, you would definitely put it on and take photos in front of that.
There.
It would be the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Yeah.
But we have more fun kind of making our own costumes.
Yeah. Which is what people call, I guess the term Disney bounding has very picked up. So that's sort of how you get away with adults wearing costumes at Disney, is you do Disney bounding, which is an interpretation of the costume, I guess.
Yeah. So we've done that before. We did that recently. We did like a Han and Leia look after D23.
Yeah.
Or kind of like a vacation style haunted
yeah.
Atlanta.
I saw that. That was nice.
That was fun. They actually convinced me to wear Mickey ears for the first time, but they were Chewbacca Mickey ears that it just did not fit my head at all. They sat on the back of my head like a yarmulke the whole time.
So much.
I don't have any hair, but the hats there don't fit me either. Like it's just like it sort of sits up there, and it's like, eh.
We filmed yesterday on an Insta story. I was trying to put on some of the resistance gear that they have there too, and none of the hats fit me. They're all like super tiny for kids.
They're for kids.
I know.
They're for kids.
It's like we have it, but now I can't wear it still.
You're too old.
Which is crazy. The kids don't spend the money, right?
No, it's true.
Well, we did spend money for our future kids already.
There you go.
There you go.
A little Han Solo vest to put away in storage.
There you go. Yeah, when I when a long time ago, and part of Ryan's life, far, far away, when the Play School stuff, Star Wars stuff first came out, whenever that was, I don't even remember. I bought like a bunch of it. I said, one day I'm going to have a son, and I'm going to give him the Star Wars Play School stuff. And when he turned 3, that was his birthday. Like it was all the old Play School stuff, and he loves it. He plays with it like every day.
Yeah. Oh, you're encouraging us. We almost made a real big purchase last year when Toys R Us was going under.
The Landspeeder.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
It was like $80 versus $400. And we're like, what table can we turn this into for the time being?
Yeah. In our LA apartment.
Yeah.
How many times would you try and get into it yourself?
Yeah.
Break it.
How many?
Yeah, I saw a video of somebody modded one, and so they could ride around in it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's cool to get stuff for your kids that one day you'll be able to give it to them. But I did see.
It's a shame that his kid became a Star Trek fan.
Oh,
instead.
don't say that! Blasphemy. I did when I was at Disney World. I saw one guy walking around in the Emperor's robe. So I don't know if the rules are changed down there or not, or he just put it on and ran through the park.
Yeah.
Disney World is okay.
I think Disney World. That's what we were told. They said that in Florida you can kind of do it. They even have obviously like for the frozen milk drinks you can get the green and blue milk. You can actually get alcohol in those and walk around with them.
Can't do that at Disneyland. Not in Disneyland. It's not allowed.
If it was at the Magic Kingdom here or in Disney World, not here, like in Houston, but if it was at the Magic Kingdom in Disney World, I don't think they could do it. But since it's at Hollywood Studios, you can get alcohol pretty much
like
anywhere.
Our California Adventure.
Yeah.
Where you can do alcohol there.
Yeah. Oh, that was a fun discovery when we started dating. You can do what at Disney?
We're never leaving.
We're gonna sing the Appletini song all day long.
Watch our latest video of we were just mostly covering the decorations on Halloween. Actually, it was hard to make that episode because we've been doing so much Star Wars lately, and our channel is really not all about Star Wars as much as it's a part of our life. There's so many fun things to do and explore and experience that we want our channel to be about. You can have fun whatever you're doing. Yeah. Star Wars is just a vehicle that everybody loves. Yeah. And it gets a big audience. But we were filming all the cool new Halloween decorations at the park, and we had the Appletini martinis with a poison apple, glowing apple in them, and
the whiskey
and then the song just came out of us.
Well, I felt like I had to explain the state we were in via song.
Yeah. And as we were walking, because in Disneyland, it's California Adventure and Disneyland face each other. And as we were walking from California Adventure from Carthay Circle, where we got the Appletinis, and walking into Disneyland, music's playing, and I just start singing songs all the time.
Well, they play that little tune every time, so we have it memorized because we go every weekend. We're like, let's just sing about the Appletinis we just had.
Yeah. I think improving songs on the spot is a good example of just playing and being in the moment and not caring and just going with it and just realizing something funny came out of it. Like improving with Ashleigh is like my favorite thing to do because I think she's going to be done, but then she keeps going with it. And then I'm like, oh, no, I have to keep going. And it just goes back and forth. And then it's funny at the end of it.
Yeah.
It makes for good videos. So there you go. But those Appletini little cubes are pretty, well, not cubes, but the glow things are pretty cool.
Oh, they're fun.
Oh, we have them all over our little home tiki bar right now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Cool effect.
They didn't have those in Disney World when I was there. So
Shame.
yeah, shame. They don't have the Han Solo dice at Disney World either.
No, I have like 5 of them.
Yeah, because I went to one of the stores on Batu and I said, "Hey, I'm looking for these certain dice that you have," and they said, "Oh, those are only found at our sister planet."
Oh no!
Oh, really?
They have so many of them. There was so many yesterday. I'll have to pick you up a pair.
Ah, that'd be cool. Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, really? It's your sister planet? Okay."
Every time you go, oh, they might, because they sold out after the first time we went. They sold out really quickly here.
I'm sure.
So every time we go back, you go, I should get another pair.
Yeah.
Like, what happens to the other 5 pairs?
Well, they're so affordable. They're like $14, and they're really accurate and cool. And that's what I love about the park is like there's so many cool things that they sell there that like I would have paid so much more money for a couple of years ago that just didn't exist. Like they have the Jedi gear set we reviewed in one of our vlogs covering some of the merch, and it was like I literally made this Jedi communicator from the prequels out of a Schick razor blade years ago, and I would have paid good money for a toy one that they have now, which is like 2 scale. And it's Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to you. Yeah. And it's the coolest thing in the world. And I'm like, it's like $20 for the whole kit.
Oh, wow. Everything we enjoy is kind of goes back to the cosplaying.
Yes.
Like the dice was really special to you because we went to the solo premiere.
Yes.
Nice.
Cosplayed as Han and Kira.
This is Ashleigh's big Star Wars moment.
Oh, or like I met my best friend Amelia Clark.
Dressed as Kira.
Yeah.
Nice.
So well, I got to meet her, but the story I was saying was we're sitting in the theater and we were so pumped. You know, we just met Alden, we met Amelia. Who else did we meet? Ron Howard. We met the whole cast and we were like sitting down. We're getting ready to watch Solo, and he hands me the dice and puts it in my hand. He's like, "For luck."
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh. So now so cool. We have dice everywhere now.
Yeah. One in my car. There's one in my office. There's one.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So speaking of cosplay, so what is your guys' favorite cosplay that you've done?
Mine is Han and Kira. Because we were one of the first cosplayers in Southern California to do that. Yeah. We got invited to go to the premiere of the movie, and it was even before. So only the 501st really gets invited to go to these Hollywood premieres, and we weren't part of Rebel Legion or 501st. But I told Brian, I'm like, I have a feeling if we do a really good Han and Kira, we'll be able to go to the premiere. And he's like, no, we won't. I was like, yes, we will. So I'm like, we're going to go, and I'm going to meet Amelia Clark.
We're going to become best friends. We're going to hang out every day.
I know.
We worked so hard the 2 or 3 months leading up to the premiere, but we just wanted to get it done before anybody. That was kind of
we wanted to be the first.
Yeah. We really worked hard on it, and I stayed up literally the first time I ever wore them. I stayed up to like 5 a.m. in the morning just finishing my pants. She wakes up and comes downstairs like, "What are you doing? You're still awake."
We have WonderCon to go to.
I'm still gluing little blood stripes on my pants. Like, I'm almost done.
Yeah. But that was my favorite.
But and as a result of doing that and spending that much time on it, we got to go to the premiere, like Ashleigh said, and this cool thing got to happen.
Oh, wow.
It's a picture of them meeting Amelia.
Yes, and Ashleigh on the verge of tears and smile and joy.
I cosplayed as Daenerys for like a year before that. I was a huge fan. So to have like Star Wars and Game of Thrones sort of like come together was a really big deal for me. And so I'm like standing there on the edge, and I think it was her manager came by.
Yeah.
And she sees like my costume. She talks to the other guy kind of leading all the cosplayers waiting, and they both communicated. He's like, she needs to meet Amelia right now. So shaking, and the manager calls her over, and she comes like coming over in her beautiful gown, and I'm like shaking and crying.
What did she smell like?
Flowers. And, I guess like cosplayers have been doing this for like a year or two in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Where it was becoming a thing to have cosplayers on the sidelines.
Just the big fans of the event.
And
basically.
you know, like nobody touched the actors or anything except for me. I'm like, best friend, hug me. Cried all over her. She was very sweet.
She was really, really
great.
nice.
It really made for the event.
Yeah.
It made it all worth it.
And that was cool because it was that thing again of following your passions and just loving what you love and just believing in it with everything you have. That Ashleigh believed we were going to go to the event, and I was doubting it because I was like, this is pretty ridiculous if we do it. And then we got there, and then we're like, okay, we are in this moment. We're going to do everything humanly possible to make sure that you get to meet Amelia right now. And it was like the best experience of how it could have happened.
Yeah. So me just like staring at her, crying and shaking, like that made it happen.
So if you want to meet Amelia, people, stare and shake and cry at her.
Stare and shake
And that's kind of part of where like our idea of like always believe came from. It's just always believe that things are going to work out and stay positive.
We just put it out there. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That would happen. But did you have a favorite cosplay?
Probably actually doing Han from Solo with Ashleigh for the same reason, just because that was like a very bonding experience of us doing that together and getting to have this magical moment together.
Yeah.
I'd had so many somewhat magical Star Wars moments already myself. I'd done the Rose Parade and I'd gotten to work on Force Awakens on posters, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But then getting to do this with Ashleigh was just like it topped it all again.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, we were just dating. We were just we just became boyfriend girlfriend. And we hadn't even been together for 6 months, and we're making these costumes together. And we really put our commitment right from the beginning. Communication skills, teamwork skills to the test. We stay up till midnight, way past midnight, 5 a.m. working on these costumes.
That's cool though, because you guys have the same passions and you get to do this stuff together.
Yeah, very lucky.
We at Comic Palooza for the past 2 years, we've cosplayed some, and it was fun. Like I have a blast. But I always pick random. I do making the costume because I always pick random characters. I don't go for the, everybody be Batman or whatever. I pick a random character and then nobody knows who I am. It's just always
but that one person that does know who you are, that's really special.
Yeah, there was one person.
He gets mad at me because I will pick people that people know.
Yeah, he gets all the pictures.
Yeah. And then everybody wants my picture, and he's just kind of standing there, and I feel bad for him. But yeah, like I did like Deadpool, but I was in a red suit, like an actual like suit and tie suit, the Deadpool mask. But I liked our last year one where you did. I can't think of his name all of a sudden.
I did Crossbones from Marvel.
Yeah.
And I did like sort of a cross between the MCU version and the comic book version. And I thought it looked really cool. And it did. But nobody knew who Crossbones was. I'm like,
there was like one or two.
I'm like, we're at a comic book convention. I figured somebody would know who Crossbones was.
Felt safe, and then you just were.
Yeah. But then
there was a lot of anime.
Yeah, but then I did. But then they had a Star Wars day, and I wore my I wore my Kylo Ren costume that I built, and it was like right when the teaser trailer had dropped, I think, or something, or it had dropped right before that. And I noticed in the teaser trailer that they had his mask had the red, where they were molding it back together, had the red going through it, the red line. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. So I got some LED strips and like molded it into the mask that I already had. And people were looking at me like, why do you have red on your mask? Like, what's that? Are you like party Kylo or something? I'm like, no.
Just wait.
Yeah, just you wait.
And I did Master Roshi, which in Dragon Ball Z, which just looks like an older me, basically.
Yeah. It was good, but it looked like
I tried to do a Fallout character, but I only got as far as building a Pip-Boy. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Fallout video games, but it's a post-nuclear apocalypse type game, and they have this little thing that they put on their arm to they see all the stats and all these things of their person. So I had built one of these things and didn't get as far as making a costume for it, so it was kind of a fail, but it was fun.
I think my favorite cosplay they've ever done, because I love doing it. And, I don't get to do it that often. And my wife isn't as geeky as me. So when I make her dress up, she's like, really? But
Frodo?
Yeah. So so that's where I'm going. So years ago, we were invited to this party, and they said everybody's gonna. There was a theme like I forget what the theme was, like apocalyptic sort of theme. And I said, okay, what if we go as I'll go as the Witch King from Lord of the Rings, and you'll go as Frodo, but we'll twist it where basically the Witch King wins and he gets the ring and captures Frodo. So I made my wife dress up as Frodo. And I built a Witch King. I mean, this thing was, I'll have to find pictures. It was really, really cool. I had the full headpiece, everything. And we get to the party and nobody is dressed as this theme. And my wife is like, all the ladies here are like sexy strawberry shortcake and I'm Frodo. It was so funny. I'm like, but you look cool as Frodo, because she's like a little, she's petite and stuff. I'm like, you look like Frodo. Like I made her the whole like Frodo outfit. She,
Did she have hairy feet?
We made it where she looked like she had hairy feet.
Sexy.
That is super sexy. Take that over strawberry shortcake.
I know. I was like, I think you're sexy. I mean. But that was so fun, and like she had I had her like captured and I would just guide her around all night and stuff, which was funny. And but it's a blast because you get to just basically live out, things you love and make it sort of a reality, and I love it. So is there any thing that you would person or character that you want to cosplay that you're like, this is my ultimate cosplay that one day I will do?
You got them thinking.
Sexy strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, exactly.
You be strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
I can see it. I think it works.
I got a little red in my beard sometimes. I don't know. A lot of my cosplay went from Star Wars into superheroes for a while. Like I used to do Batman, and I used to dress up as Superman a lot. And then, honestly, since dating Ashleigh, I haven't gone to the gym as much. So I stopped doing it. We got back to Star Wars so much too. That
you can be the fat Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse.
No.
Yeah,
perfect.
Fat Thor exists, like.
Yeah, Fat Thor. There's a lot of fat characters you could be.
My problem is I'm like bald and have a beard, and there's not that many people to choose from. So it's like I guess I'll be a masked character. That's usually what I.
That's why I went as Master Roshi. Yeah. So
we have a celebration things we want to work on for Star Wars. Yeah. You want to pull Anakin out again?
Yeah, I really want to bring out Anakin again. We did it last year, and I just realized at the time when I was Anakin a lot was in my early 20s, which is how old Hayden was when he was Anakin, and I felt like a child still. And now I'm technically Han Solo's age from A New Hope, and I don't. It's kind of mind blowing to think about that. And I look back and I go, oh my gosh, I'm like so much older looking than I was then. I actually looked really good then. I'm like, oh, I need to lose some weight and I don't know, being a little self conscious about it. But I really want to bring that costume out again because I spent so much time on it. It's such a nice costume.
Mm-hmm.
You could be Anakin from Rise of the Skywalker.
Wait a minute.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yep,
I was just gonna say you could do burn makeup and you could be Anakin right after he gets burned.
I've seen some epic ones. I saw a guy do a video that just totally burned up and
that's awesome.
His armor beat up. I was like, that is awesome.
Cool. We went to a Star Wars celebration a couple years ago, and my favorite one was Han Solo, and he had Kylo Ren's lightsaber just through his stomach, just walking around.
It was really funny, cracking me up.
I had a friend who used to be a clone trooper like that, and he used to have Yoda's lightsaber through his chest from Revenge of the Sith when Yoda just.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my thing with costumes is I get so picky on wanting them to be accurate because I want people to look at my costume and go, that's not to have them go, that's a good costume. I want them to go, oh my gosh, you are Han Solo, or oh my gosh, that's Superman. Like, just completely forget about it to that point of realism. And that's what I like doing, and it makes it hard. So if I know I'm going to start a project, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be
full
yeah.
Work. Yeah.
Last
7. my lineup.
Oh, okay.
What? Sorry, go ahead.
What do you want to do?
What am I doing? Oh, I'm working on Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
That
That's
one
awesome.
I'm excited for.
Because that was Harley Quinn was your first
Harley
costume.
Quinn from Suicide Squad was actually my first cosplay.
Ah.
And that one I did super accurate. And then I didn't realize till I put the costume on. I was like, oh, I kind of look like Margot. That's kind of cool.
Actually, Scary looks like Margot Robbie in that costume. Like,
That's awesome.
Full get up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
love
like,
Harley Quinn. That's great.
yeah, I'll do that one next. I want to do Dark Ray after I saw that last trailer. I really want to do that.
I want to be Dark.
You want to be Dark Ray?
Switchblade
No,
lightsaber.
That lightsaber.
What are your thoughts on Dark Ray? What's actually going on there?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of fan theories, like it's possible she's a clone. Like some people are saying, like the answer has been in front of us the whole time, and it's not as interpretive.
That's such a cool theory.
Yeah, it's not as interpretive as we think it is. Like if you look at Last Jedi, you literally see all those versions of her, copies of her, and if you think back that same kind of a vision from Empire Strikes Back, it was kind of a literal vision that Luke had. He saw himself as Vader because literally, I mean, he's related to Vader. He's Vader's son, and he literally could become that dark version of himself. So maybe it's a little more literal of a situation vision. So maybe she's a clone. I don't know. That'd be weird, but I don't know how they're gonna explain it. But the Emperor had clones in the Legacy books originally.
Yeah.
And I have no clue.
I like to think that she is a clone of Luke's severed hand.
I've heard that.
Because that's why the lightsaber wants to go back to her. Like it called for her. It wanted to go back to her hand, to the hand.
Is basically the fifth element.
Yeah.
Oh, because of my tattoo?
Yeah.
My other favorite movie.
That movie is special to me as well. We my wife and I, when we got married, that movie was on like TNT or something in the hotel, and so it's like we watched it, and so anytime it would come on, we're like, oh, there's that movie again.
Well, that's our
Fifth Element, you know. It's kind of funny. It's like not a romantic movie at all, but it's just funny.
It is to you.
It is to me.
There.
Yeah.
They save the world with love.
Yes.
Did you not watch the movie?
No, I'm just kidding.
What were you doing on your honeymoon? Oh,
Chris Tucker's romantic. I don't know what you're talking about. Rush Hour.
Yeah.
I didn't watch movies on my honeymoon. So. We were at Disney World, so we were riding rides.
Well, we went as well on our honeymoon, but that was the official honeymoon afterwards or whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh.
Look at all the stuff that you guys have to look forward to.
Get a honeymoon and an official honeymoon?
Yeah. If that's the case, then we went and had our honeymoon yesterday at Disney because we were just there.
Yeah.
My wife's a teacher, or used to be, and so it's like we got married in November, and so we stayed at a hotel one night and came back. Then because we had to be at school, you know, the next week, you know, and then we went in December when she was on Christmas break to Disney for our honeymoon. So.
Oh, there you go. Make it work.
Same with us. We got married. We had to go back to work like the next week. And then years later, we went on a Disney cruise for our honeymoon. So.
Well,
I feel like we're always on a honeymoon. I don't know where we would go.
That's
people keep asking me. We got engaged last year, and we've been partially my doing because we've been just sort of distracted with the channel and like working on.
I was like, oh yeah, we're engaged. We should like plan something. I guess.
Like we're not really looking towards that moment maybe of like putting all our hopes and dreams on just the wedding. We're always doing something fun together. That every day has been kind of fun and exciting, and we're doing things. And that's partially, again, part of our idea for our channel is to show people like, you know, we're not perfect. We don't have a perfect relationship or anything, but we figured out some stuff that we feel really works a lot. And just that aspect of playing with each other and always having fun together and really encouraging that kind of energy between each other, that I see so many friends and couples who have gotten to that place where they forget to to have that fun together and be silly and just let go. Like everybody wants to have an amazing feeling with the person they're with. If you can make people feel amazing around you and just have so much fun, they're going to associate that passion and that energy and fun with you. They're going to be like, I want to be around this person more often. So if you can do that with anybody you meet, they're going to just want to be around you and they're going to want to stay with you.
Yeah, that's why I made sure we did a Star Wars marathon right when we were first dating.
Yeah.
She's so great.
She's a keeper.
Yeah. It sounds like you need to have a destination wedding to the other Batu on the East Coast.
There you go.
We want to go to a new hotel when it opens.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a goal of ours too. If we do enough vlogs,
That
being
would be
positive
awesome.
and fun and
Yeah.
showing how amazing
gonna-
Batu is in Star Wars, maybe we'll get invited one day to that.
You never know.
It'd be so cool.
Well, we just luckily we got asked to be, even for a small second, we got to be on the special they just did on Freeform
Oh,
about
cool.
Galaxy's Edge the other night.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
We got contacted kind of late in the game, and I kind of responded a little late in the game, but we still got a clip of us kind of going, as we're walking into the park.
First time in the park, yeah.
But
Nice.
so
That's
one
cool.
small step.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that hotel. I accidentally, because of all the construction there, I accidentally went down the wrong road when I was there a few weeks ago, and it put me
Yeah.
right. Well, no,
Air
it
quotes
was accidentally because it said next right, Magic Kingdom or something like that. So I took the next right, and what it meant was the right after that, and it put me behind the scenes of Hollywood Studios, and it put me right by where they're building the new hotel. And I'm like, hey, that's where that hotel's going.
How long
So,
did you keep out there till you got kicked out?
I drove slow. I wanted to obey the speed limits and drive really slow through the backstage. So I saw the backside of Galaxy's Edge and then where they're building the hotel.
Backside of water.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
backside of water. So yeah, I want to do that hotel. They still haven't announced the official price, but
What was the one we heard?
Well, they do talk about it on that Freeform special.
oh, did they?
We heard it's like I think a 2 to 3 day commitment because
Yeah.
it's like a cruise in space.
Yeah.
It's a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
Yeah.
originally we heard like 3,000 a person for that.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so there might be a Ryan trip and the family stays home.
Yeah.
that.
Sorry, kids, your dad has to go to Star Wars.
Again, hopefully get to a point where we can get the channel big enough and we can do it as a tax write-off. And then
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Star Wars Hotel.
check.
Well, just keep doing. Keep living out your passion and putting it out there, and people are going to find you and enjoy it because I just happened upon it, and I'm like, these guys are great. I could tell that you guys are doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it because you want to show people that anybody can live out basically their passions. And so we're at the hour mark. I said we go an hour, but if you guys want to keep talking, we can keep talking, or we can wrap it up.
I feel like I rambled way more than an hour already. I guess we can wrap it up in a little bit too. We took the AC off so it wasn't making noise while we're getting on here.
Yeah, fall weather hasn't hit anywhere yet, so
It's trying to hit here in Memphis, so. But
lucky. Not here in
Yeah.
Houston. It's like still in the 90s.
Yeah, we're in the 90s today too.
Yeah, we tried to experience the fall weather in Salem 2 weekends ago. We went out there for a quick trip. It's pretty hot still.
Yeah.
our high tomorrow is 73 or something.
Oh, lucky.
It rained today. It was 88 today.
You got
And-
rain?
Yeah, we got rain. It was raining during the show. I was like, I hope I don't lose internet because it was lightning and thunder and all that. But
LA, it never rains.
Yeah.
Well, it's apparently 78 in this apartment right now. I just checked the thermostat.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
gonna be 90s again tomorrow.
Well, we'll let you guys get your air back on. Hopefully, one day I will make it to Disneyland, and maybe if I'm there, I'll see you because I've never been. I want to go. Chris has been because he used to live out there.
I've been because I used to live out there. But
you know.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Let us know. We're there almost every weekend.
We're trying to.
At least every other weekend we're there.
Yeah, even our Halloween episode we just put up, like I'll spoil it a little bit, but the fun of the end of the episode is I didn't really tell Ashley the whole time. She was like, "We're not going to do Batu today.
We're doing all Halloween stuff.
Halloween and Disney stuff, no Star Wars." And I was like, "Okay." And we happened to just kind of end up close to Batu at the Big Thunder Mountain after that. And then I was like, I don't know about you, but I'm going to Batu. And I just bolted it. And she's like, what? Where are you going?
Yeah, that made me laugh. And then you're like running after him. And...
Yeah, it's like, it's right there. I was like, I'm not driving down to Anaheim and not going to look at the Falcon for like 10 seconds even. Like, I have to look at it for just, I said in the video, I was like, I have to look at you. I have to look at the Falcon for like just a minute. I have to look at you every day, and I love looking at you every day. But I have to in a good way. I love looking at you.
I'm really hoping that around Christmas time they'll be like, let's do Life Day at Batu. Oh. That would be so cool.
I heard Jon Favreau wants to remake the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah. I saw that. That'd be great.
I would love that. I would love if they like intentionally tried to make it kind of cheesy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They'd have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do it serious.
Yeah.
Oh, quick question before I leave, because I haven't been out there. So on the Falcon, have you ever seen Chewbacca walk up the ramp and go inside?
No.
I haven't seen
He did it when I was at Disney World. I was standing there and he walks by and like waves at me and just turns right and walks straight up and I'm like, picture. Walked straight up into the Falcon and like stood up there for a few minutes and then walked back down. It was so cool.
It definitely works though, because they show for the opening night they had Chewie in the cockpit.
Yeah. They had him in the cockpit.
From what I was aware of from some people, like I think that Falcon actually has a full interior possibly too.
Oh wow.
But I mean obviously during the experience you don't really go into that Falcon during the ride. But it makes sense because if like they were, I mean,
as a movie set.
Yeah, if they ever have to film the Falcon again for a movie set, hopefully it survives the next movie. But it's right there.
That's a cool size one.
Yeah. No.
Well, thanks for joining us. So where can people find you on YouTube, Instagram? We'll let you just shout it out right here.
You can find us on Instagram at Ash and Bryan, ASHANDBRYAN.
And on YouTube at youtube.com/C/alwaysbelieve, or you can just type in always believe now. There's a couple videos up. So
we'll usually pop up.
We'll pop
the
up.
A and the B with 2 stars.
Yeah. Very fun mid-century kind of we just actually redesigned our logo last weekend. Just to make it a little more fun and representative of actually what we're all about. And kind of our new thing is, I mean, our team and fans and other people we want to come on this adventure with us, we're calling our flight crew. Sort of, we have like a little rocket ship that's in our logo now that we're going to call the Believe is the name of the ship. So it's like everybody's part of the Believe flight crew. Just to remind people like, hey, come on an adventure with us. We're going to go blast around the universe, around the world, and explore and play and have fun. And we're so happy that everybody's coming to have a good time. We want everybody to leave smiling and having a positive experience, and reminding them, hey, just play, enjoy your life, enjoy whatever you do, because it'll lead to the most amazing things and the most amazing people.
Wow.
So,
cool.
No.
Well, thank you again for coming on, and everybody, all of our listeners, make sure you go to YouTube and as the kids say, hit that like button, subscribe, and smash that bell icon for Always Believe.
Nice.
Yeah, but anyway,
thank you for doing it, because Ashleigh hates doing that.
I hate
I did that for I was walking through Epcot, and then we'll end, and I saw somebody with the full YouTube rig going through 2 younger guys, and I turned around. I was like pushing the stroller. I turned around right into their camera because they were like live streaming, and I said, "Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon." And they're like, "What?"
Thank you. We didn't have to say it.
It was really funny. Took them by surprise. I'm like, yeah, I'm old, but I know the YouTubes.
Oh yeah, it happens in the park too when we're walking around. We had somebody yesterday come up and find us. They found us through our Instagram. We're like, I've been looking for you guys all day, and we found you.
On your Insta story.
And it's so cool. It's just started happening, and it's really fun that people are getting excited and they're finding us at the park, and they're like, hey, it's Always Believe. And we're like, okay, yeah, it's cool. Hey, what's up?
Now say it for the camera.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you, guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of the night, and you're welcome back anytime on I Am Geek. And hopefully we'll catch you out there in Disneyland sometime.
Yes. And until then, always believe.
Yes. This has been I Am Geek episode 120, and we'll catch you next week on I Am Geek.